Hey guys, how's it going? Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson for you all. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about alternate picking versus economy picking for bass guitar. Okay, I get asked which one is better, what do I use more, how do I go about developing alternate picking, how do I go about developing economy picking, and speed with both techniques. Well, first off, there is no better technique out of the two. They're both equally strong and important, and definitely something every bass player should explore, because they each present different sets of challenges and different sets of opportunities for different kinds of ideas you can execute. Okay, so alternate picking, simple. You keep alternating. So if you start with your first finger, it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, okay, or 2 1 2 1 2 1. Depends on which finger you start with, and then you just alternate between the fingers. If you use 3 fingers, you can either do 3 2 1, 3 2 1 3 2 1, or 3 2 1 2 3 2 1 2. I don't use 3 fingers, so I'm not really familiar or sure how to develop that, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, 2 fingers, right? So if I take a B minor pentatonic shape, okay, so it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, now when you descend, you can alternate pick. However, for me, it's energy consuming. Okay. Okay, and it's something I never really practice a lot, because naturally I used to rake and go through the string. So if I were to force myself to alternate pick, okay, now it's easier when I am not repeating the last note. If I repeat the last note, things start to change, because we are alternate picking, right? Okay, for me that's so uncomfortable. I'd rather rake. Raking is a very simple idea. Whichever note you play last on whichever string, with whichever particular finger you use, that'll play the first note of the next string. So if I play ED with 2 1, the B is going to be with this, the first finger, 1, and then 2 for the A, rake down to F sharp, 1 to E, 1 to D, 2 on B. That's raking. I prefer that. If I repeat the note, okay, that is alternate picking in a nutshell. Take this idea, practice scales, and this is one of the many reasons I emphasize practicing scales in every combination possible, because depending on the number of notes you pick on a particular string, the alternating fingers can change, and then the way you rake can also change. So this pentatonic shape is using only 2 notes a string. If I use a third note somewhere, it changes the whole thing. Watch what happens. That's without repeating the last note. Let me try repeating it. Now if I add a third note on the top, A third note on the third, I have one on the bottom, 3 notes on the bottom, 3 notes on the top. I'm going to put one right below the top, which is the second string. Versus. Okay, so I'm actually struggling a little bit because depending on how many notes on whichever string I choose to use, my right hand has to be there ready. So that's why I stress on practicing scales from the lowest available note to the highest available note to really get the alternate picking going. Okay, so that's alternate picking. Economy picking is where you use more hammer-ons, pull-offs and slides. Okay, so if I were to take the same pentatonic shape and I'm going to pick only one note at a time and hammer on to the next and then pull off. Okay, what you'll notice is if I speed it up, ascending is cool, descending is a little weak. It's hard to do this. It's better to pick it so you can actually ascend economy and descend alternate with the raking. Okay, now very quickly what you'll notice is that economy picking is more fluid, but alternate picking is more powerful in the sense it projects better. Okay, if I do versus, they both have their place. That is why I stress on that fact. If I have something like a versus, okay, so take that, alternate pick, economy. The economy has a very fluid sound. Versus, right? So same thing with scales. If I just take a 1 octave and then I have to practice economy, so pick, hammer on, pick, hammer on, pick, pick, hammer on, pick, pick, pull off, pick, rake, pull off, pick, rake, pick. You can do it in varying combinations. Obviously, there is no specific way to do this, but the idea is to really exercise the picking hand to be comfortable playing scale figures, arpeggios, grooves, and every fingering possible with different combinations of notes, because your right hand has to be there to pick them all. So right hand or left hand if you're a lefty. So it's very important to practice these ideas in isolation, and to take it slow, eventually build speed, and then eventually combine different kinds of notes to each string, alternate between how many notes you put on what string. Just have fun with it, make a game out of it. You know, if I'm playing a pentatonic scale, every time I ascend, I need to keep adding one more note on any string and then descend back normal. So let's say you see, I wasn't ready for that with my left hand. My right hand was kind of there, right? So these kind of small things really force some of the greatest ideas out of you. So sit down with it, be patient, don't discredit one over the other. They are both important. alternate picking is as important as economy picking, and vice versa. Okay, so that'll be all for this lesson, and I'll see you guys in the shed until the next one. Peace.